What a day, what a day. It is Tuesday. Oh my goodness. Let me tell you, I have some things on my mind. I will not go into them right now because two reasons. I can't go off on one of my side tangents like I did yesterday when I was talking about different milks and all that stuff, because the battery on my phone is low and I hate charging my battery if it's not at a certain point. I'm weird like that. It's low, but it's not low enough for me to charge it by my standards, but it's low. And it's low to the point where I know I can't go on for 30 or 40 minutes. So my goal is to get straight to the point. And for those who may be watching this for the first time, I'm your host, KC Phoenix, and this is my daily thought. All right, I hope everyone's doing well. Thank you to everyone who's been listening to the podcast. The numbers on the podcast jumped a lot, like a ridiculous amount when I logged in, and I wasn't even logging in to check numbers because I rarely log in to do that. But when I logged in, I noticed that the numbers jumped. So thank you to those who have been listening to the podcast, to those who have been watching on YouTube or Daily Motion. I appreciate you. KIRWKC.com is the main podcasting platform, but as you already know, this podcast is on Apple, Spotify, Google, and some others. What else? There was something else I meant to say. Oh yeah, other thing. It is a new month. Today's September the 1st. Since it's a new month, and I told you I would do movie recommendations at least once a month, this coming weekend, all 3 episodes will be movie recommendations. So this weekend for Keeping It Real with KC, it will be all three episodes of Keeping It Real with KC will be movie recommendation episodes. As you may already know, Keeping It Real with KC is a weekend show. My Daily Thought is a supplement to Keeping It Real with KC. All right, got that out the way. Now, let me go into this. Forgiveness doesn't cost anything. As you probably figured out, I would talk about that from the title. Okay. For those who have been listening to my podcast, or those who have been watching my show, and you've listened to all my episodes, or you've watched all my episodes, some of you are probably saying, wait a second, KC doesn't like apologizing, and he doesn't accept apologies too often. And just yesterday, he was talking about all relationships are subject to audit. After discussing those things, how can he talk about forgiveness doesn't cost anything? I'm glad you asked. Sit down and I will explain it. Don't worry, I'll be able to land this plane. I have the experience. When it comes to apologies and asking for forgiveness, they're in the same state, but different area codes. Apologies are in Houston. Asking for forgiveness is in Dallas. For those who are familiar with Texas. Texas is on my mind for whatever reason. I just picked that state, even though I live in California. All right. For an apology, let me give you an example. Let's say that you're in the kitchen and you're cooking with someone, you're helping them out, and you try to hand them the flour, or you hand them something, but you drop it. And it was clearly your fault. Your natural reaction, or your natural response, I should say, once you drop something will be to say, oh, I'm sorry, while you're cleaning it up or doing whatever. That, to me, those type of things with I'm sorry, it doesn't mean anything. As I said before on my episode about apologizing, and I'll use the quote again. If apologies fixed everything, we wouldn't need laws or policemen. One of my favorite quotes. I would rather someone just resolve the issue and move on and make it known that it's been brought to your attention, which usually that's what I say before. If there's a situation where one might traditionally apologize, I usually say, thank you for bringing that to my attention. Or let's say that I dropped something and clearly it was my fault. I'll say, let me clean this up for you and get this done. Is there anything else you need me to do? All right. There are other apologies that are knee-jerk. Somebody does something, same thing. Oh, I apologize. Whatever. Then there are situations in life, and this goes back into everyone is a different person. Everyone is an individual. We're all different. We all have different emotions, different wants, different needs, different everything. A situation happens in someone's life, and that situation caused you great discomfort and pain. It left an emotional scar on you. The individual who did it decides to come to you and say, hey, I did something wrong. Would you please forgive me? They're specifically asking for forgiveness. They're not like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. No. They're like, I did something wrong. Would you please forgive me? I shouldn't have done that. Can you find it in your heart to forgive me? I'm talking about it on that level. Because when someone comes to you and asks for forgiveness versus coming to you and saying, I'm sorry, and they might do the two, saying, I'm so sorry, can you please forgive me? Which I hope when someone approaches me, they don't do that, because as soon as they add in the I'm sorry with the can you please forgive me, it just almost makes it a wash for me personally. But like I said, everybody's different. But if someone approaches you and they're like, I did something wrong. I know I did something wrong, and I know I hurt you. Can you find it in your heart to forgive me? Will you please forgive me? Regardless of how you may feel, that you're like, I don't want to forgive this person. This person did this and that. Just like yesterday, I was talking about my cousins, where for me, and this is sort of a different episode in itself, because, which I wrote that down as a thought today. Stop unknowingly giving people credibility, which I'll dive into more one day, but not right now. Long story short of it is, when you let energy go, out of sight, out of mind. Yes, you'll always have whatever you experienced in life, but it's in the past. As I said before in one of my episodes, you're not a time traveler. That's it. The energy's gone. So when you have a bad situation like I had with either one of my cousins and I brought that up, I'm not holding a grudge against them. I just don't care. That's the difference, because I'm not giving that credibility. I'm not giving either one of those cousins credibility, even though I discussed what happened and how I had to do an audit of the relationship to determine whether I would continue to deal with them or not. The things that they did, that's whatever. Because when I'm done, I'm done. I'm not about to give anybody credibility. It's just like, okay, I don't wake up every day, or really any day, saying, oh, I wish that my cousin didn't do this to me, and I wish my other cousin didn't do such and such to me, or I wish that person didn't do this, or I wish this person didn't do that. I don't wake up like that, because when I wake up, people aren't on my mind like that at all. I don't check for people like that. And like I said, that mindset is another episode in itself. Swinging back around to this, for those who do hold on to things that may have happened in their past, where they remember it and they hold on to it. They wake up some days and once they think about what happened, they just get mad all over again, holding on to that energy, that negative energy. I say, A, it's not doing you any good. And B, it's not doing you any good. Yes, I meant to say that twice to make it sink in. If someone approaches you and they realize that they have done wrong, regardless of how you feel, whether you're still holding on to it or whether you let go of it and it's not even on your mind. I had somebody come to me and ask for forgiveness. We're in 2020. I think that was 2018-ish, maybe 2017. Somebody come to me and ask for forgiveness. I was just like, okay, I guess. Do I remember some of the things that happened with that individual? Yeah, I remember them well. I just don't care. It's in the past. What's been done is done. You can't, and that's the thing with what people say with words. Words are very powerful. And you can't unring the bell. When you say something, that's it. You can't unsay it. When you do something, that's it. You can't undo it. So when this individual came to me and they were in tears asking for forgiveness, I honestly didn't care about this situation. I humored it. I was polite. Check my episode, Polite versus Fake. I was polite and I listened, but I really didn't care. And I told the individual, yeah, I forgive you. I'm not upset about anything. Because this individual had it in their mind that I held some type of grudge against them, which that always amazes me about people. I always tell people, if I have an issue with you, there will not be any room for doubt in your mind. You won't have to guess. You won't have to watch tarot card readings, call your psychic, talk to a psychiatrist. You won't have to figure it out. You will not need to do anything extra to figure out if I have an issue with you. If I'm truly upset with you, there will be no room for doubt. But this person had it in their mind I was holding a grudge due to previous actions they had done. But I didn't care. For you, when someone, and the reason I keep rubbing my eyebrow and my head like this is because my sinuses. For those of you who have been following the show, you know that I've been having issues with my sinuses. That's why. But the show must go on. It is what it is. For those of you who are holding on to it, my question is, what for? It doesn't do you any good. And for those of you who have someone who comes to you and that individual realizes the error of what they have done, it doesn't do you any good to be like, oh no, I'm not going to forgive you. For what? Let's say that you want to hold on to it. Let's say, you know what? I'm not forgiving this person. I'm going to hold on to this negative energy and I'm going to carry it with me until the day I die. Okay, fine. Let's say you do that. What does it hurt for you to just say, okay, fine. Sort of like it's a brush off in a way. Will you forgive me? Yes, fine. You can do it like that. And I believe I mentioned this before on one of my episodes when I was talking about this. Sometimes people need to be absolved. They need absolution. If you can absolve someone of something when it comes to forgiveness, why not? Why not? You can continue carrying around the negative energy if you want to, but if you can absolve someone, why not? Let them, absolve them, and let them work out their mental issues afterwards. Meaning they can take the interaction with you, and after you have absolved them and they've received absolution from you, they can take that energy and work out their internal demons or negative energy, negative spirits, whatever you want to categorize it as. They can work out their internal conflicts on their own. And you'll never have to deal with them again. Sometimes. Not all the time. Sometimes. You'll never have to deal with them again. As for you holding on to the energy, it just isn't worth it. It really isn't. I always say, you can remember, but don't hold on to it. You can remember, but don't hold a grudge. Like I always tell people, now, I don't hold grudges. I have a long memory. Yes, if you were to line people up in front of me that have come and gone or that are currently in my life, could I give a laundry list of certain things they may have done that one would think I would deserve an apology or one would think they would ask for forgiveness for? Yeah. But do I care? No. When I woke up this morning, I'll tell you what I did. First thing I did was I gave thanks for another day. Because I was like, oh, I get to do my show. And I can't believe it. This thing is already at 20 minutes. Please let this battery last. Universe, I can't say I don't ask for much because I do ask for a lot, but just tack this on to the list too. Please let this battery last. Okay. When I woke up this morning, I gave thanks because I was like, I have another day. I get to do my show because I enjoy doing this. And I thought about some other little things in life, adjusting to the sinus battle that's been going on, and just some other stuff that I would rather not go into at the moment because I don't want to take you down that rabbit hole, because my mind is a very cluttered and dangerous place. But within my mind, of the things I thought about when I woke up this morning, not am, AM, for those who are from, I think that might be a Southern term, dialect, phrasing. Not am, person that had done something questionable to me throughout my lifetime up until now. Not am, person was on my mind. Because I didn't care. And I don't. Because I let that energy go. And if any of those people showed up and they were like, I want forgiveness for such and such, fine. It doesn't cost anything. I didn't care anyway. It doesn't cost anything. What holding on to whatever was done to you is costing you is your peace of mind. Why are you letting someone or something or a situation throw you off balance? And I'm not talking about in the moment stuff. Like if you don't parallel park right or something like that and you get upset in the moment, or somebody cuts you off when they're on the road, or they're doing, 35 and a 50. I'm using highway stuff because I've been accused by some people of having road rage. Or just take your pick of regular day-to-day activities where in the moment you might become annoyed or upset. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about energy that has happened in your life that you're carrying with you into the future when you should have left it in the past. That's what I'm talking about. Why hold on to it? What for? And it's more that than anything else. If you want to hold on to it, like I said before, fine. But if someone comes to you and asks you for forgiveness and they genuinely mean it, they're not just asking. And that's the other thing too, with forgiveness versus an apology. Usually with apologies, it's just like, I'm sorry, da 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 da. With forgiveness, when they're using the word forgiveness and it's clear they took time to review their actions, it's worth at least acknowledging that they took the time to review their actions. And if you can see that there is some form of contrition there, that they are contrite, then why not It doesn't cost you anything. Don't stay angry at them and don't throw it back in their face. It's just fine, whatever. If my cousin were to hit me up and she starts off with, will you forgive me? Not if she hits me up, because if she hits me up, I'm just going to ignore the text message or the call. But if she were to start off with, would you forgive me for such and such? I'd be like, fine. I don't care internally, but fine, because it doesn't cost me anything. It just amazes me how people hold on to things. And maybe and you know what? I'm somewhat guilty that I did that at one point in my life. But I just don't. Now, as I've learned more about energy and how energy can stay within you and you can be unbalanced by holding on to certain types of energy, man, it's not even worth it. It is not even worth it. And I'm at 26 minutes. How in the hell did we get at almost 30 minutes? So yeah, if anybody ever approaches you to ask for forgiveness, it doesn't cost anything. And if you're still holding on to that energy, not the memory, you can always keep the memory. I want you to keep the memory. You have to keep the memory. That way you know how to approach that person in the future if you so choose to deal with them. So you have to have it in your memory. Also for auditing purposes too. Wink. So you have to keep it in your memory. But no, that's all I got on that one. I hope that you understand where I'm coming from. I really, really do. This water is so good. I don't care what my little sister say. She's one of those people who don't like water. I like water. It is so damn refreshing. Yeah, nothing else is really on my mind. I'm looking forward to doing the movie recommendations for the show this weekend. I will try to make it as diverse as possible. So I might do like a horror movie and then an action movie or maybe a cartoon, because I love cartoons. I'm a kid at heart. I love, love, love cartoons. So yeah. I don't know what I'll choose, but the 3 movies that I'll choose, I'll have them ready for this weekend as long as I'm feeling up to it. And I guess regardless of how I'm feeling, I'm going to have to record anyway. So yeah, thank you to everyone who have been listening, who have been watching. If you've been liking, if you've been commenting, if you've been sharing, whatever you've been doing to support Keeping It Real with KC, I appreciate you. KIRWKC.com, KIRWKC for Twitter or Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.com/KIRWKC. If you put in KIRWKC in the search for YouTube, you will pull up the channel and the episodes. Don't forget to like and subscribe, followed by the notification bell. Same thing with Daily Motion. that's all I have. I'm sort of dragging this out just a little bit to make sure I didn't forget anything. But I'm pretty sure I got everything. And universe, thank you for my phone not going dead. I appreciate that. You always have to give thanks. Always. Even for the little things. Even for the water. My episode, people take too many things for granted. They take water and other things. Air conditioning, which is on right now. Just people take too many things for granted. And especially life. A lot of people take that for granted. But I'm not even going to go off on that again, on that road. Just listen to that episode. Thank you again. I appreciate you more than you will ever know. Be blessed.